Hi, I'm going to quickly show you how to make a juxtapose, which is a tool that you can use at juxtapose.knightlab.com. If you just Google Juxtapose JS, then it will come up there. You can see Juxtapose JS. It'll be the first result that you see. What Juxtapose is great for is getting two images and comparing them, and then making this lovely tool which just shows you the difference between two things. It's really powerful and really in a way that's much better than trying to describe the change, just showing the amount of change that there is. And this is used by news organizations all over the world. You can see some of them here. What you always get on Knightlab front pages is basically a description of what it is, and then some tips and tricks, some examples that you can look at, and then how to create your own. And then it's giving us an example preview embed. So what we need to do is get two images shot from the same perspective, the same position, and then bring them to this website. So Maps, Google Maps is probably the best way to do this. And I'm going to show you why. So Media City is the example that we're going to use. We're going to go to Maps on here. Now, here's an interface that we're probably all familiar with, but what we can also do is we can use Street View through Google Maps. And the way to do that is to look for this little yellow man down here and drag him onto a part of the map where it lights up with blue. Now, these little dots are just sort of one-off pictures, but where you see a blue line, that's where the Google car has gone, and it's taken views. Now it's probably taken multiple views, unlike these little blue dots. So we want to land on one of these blue strips. There's giving us a little preview of what that might look like. So I'm going to drop it here, which is going to give us a pretty good view of Media City. Not that one, but if we turn around, there's a place we know and love. So I'm going to go over here, and I can see that it is a pretty good view. What I'm going to do is screenshot it because there is no way to bring this image to Juxtapose otherwise. Now on a PC, you want to press the print screen button and then open up Paint. And if you just go to the kind of start menu, start typing in Paint, you'll find it. Paste it into there, crop it if you need to, and then save it to your desktop. On a Mac, what I'm going to do is press Command and Shift and 4. And that allows me to kind of draw the area that I want, basically. I don't want any of this other stuff on it, so I'm just going to kind of draw it out until I've got a nice clean view of what I want. So I've got an image of pretty much what Media City looks like now. You might notice that this building over here isn't there anymore, depending on when you look at this. And if you look at this in a couple of years' time, it's probably all going to be different way over here, because that's where Media City Phase 2 is being built. Now what I want to do is compare this image to what Media City looked like about 10 years ago. And I can do this from lots of different perspectives on roads around the UK. The way that I do it is I go up to this area here, and at the moment it says Street View May 2018. I can drop that down, and as you can see, I can go back to different views over the years. And if I go back to this one, I can show Media City being built. So exactly the same view 10 years earlier. So I'm also going to take a screenshot of this one as well. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to see, sometimes you can get rid of these little things by kind of moving back and forth a little bit. Sometimes that will happen because there is not a screen cap from 2008. So you might have to move it around a little bit and experiment with it until you get the best kind of view that you want. That's a little bit better because it hasn't got keys written across it over there. There's some workmen looking a bit baffled by what's going on. It's pretty much the same view though, and it's showing us a really useful story. So again, I'm going to screenshot this to about there. And I've got two different images that compare Media City then to what it looks like now. So I go back to Juxtapose, and on the left hand side, I think it's better if it's the older one. Now, because I have to upload this image, I've got to upload it to Dropbox. So you need a Dropbox account here. You could also use Drive, Google Drive, or iCloud, or another way of hosting the image. Maybe you could tweet the images and then get the relevant URLs. But probably the easiest way to do it is just to use Juxtapose, which uses Dropbox. And I've got my Dropbox account here. So I'm going to upload both of the files, and screenshots always appear on the desktop, and there are the two most recent ones I've taken. So I'm going to choose which of the images that I want, and it's the earlier one, so it's that one. The upload is complete. Let's just see when that was again. August 2008. So I'm going to write in there, August 2008. Credit Google Street View. Always important to credit this stuff. The same again for this one over here. Make sure I get the right one. Let's go back and see when that last one was. August 2018. So they seem to do it in August most years. Oh, sorry, that's May 2018. Not a big deal, but we may as well get it right. And I'll just copy that. You can mess about with some of this down here. I don't really know why you would want to do that. And there you can see really quickly what I've done. I did that in just a few minutes. So as it looked then, as it looks now. So this is a lovely tool for comparing stories that change over time. Buildings and landscapes are particularly good, but I guess in theory you could do other things. This is the main use as far as I'm concerned. Now, if you're working on Salford Now or a self-hosted blog, then we can embed this. So I'm going to publish that now. So we can embed it if we're on Salford Now, and we just collect that and paste that straight in. Remember, using the text editor. If not, then what I'm going to do is this. Let's go to Salford Now, and I'm going to log in here. And I'm going to pretend that this is what I would do if I was using a free WordPress blog, basically. So what I would do is this. I would go to Juxtapose, and I would take a screenshot of this. Probably hear the little click there. And then I'd go to Posts, Add New, and let's pretend that I've written an article, about this story. Title goes in here, obviously, and there's some text in here. And let's pretend we've kind of brought all the things that we would into it, and then I'm going to upload that last screenshot. And there it is. And what I can do is I can now link this image to Juxtapose. So you can also see down here, if I'm not embedding, I've been given a link, which, we could just write that in as a link if we wanted to. This is maybe a nicer way of doing it. So I'm copying that link, and you can see where I am. If I go down to here, then I can go to link to at the bottom. Let's say I make that a full size. No, let's say I make it a medium image for now. What I can do is drop it down to link to, and I want to go to custom URL, paste that in. What I've done here, if we preview this, you can see what I've done. I've made the image a clickable link, and the link in this image takes me to Knightlab, where I can see in all its glory the interactive version of this. This is all about interactivity, so I must be able to see the interactive version. Otherwise, it's not that good. It's just a sort of a pretty boring flat image. So that's the way I would do it. If you wanted to, you could just write in link to Juxtapose here, copy that, hit link, URL goes in there, add link. Let's preview that. And when this loads up in a second, so I've got two ways of doing it. I can just put in a link like that, clickable URL, or I can make it a clickable image, which is a much nicer way of doing it, because you can see that I'm showing the reader what they can expect to see. And if they click on it, they can interact with it on a free WordPress blog. If we're on Salford now, then we can embed this. I might as well demonstrate that happening. Let's get my iframe. Always look for an iframe if you want to embed on a WordPress blog. And hopefully this will work. Things don't always work the first time you preview them on WordPress. So let's refresh this page. I'm just reloading the page. And there it is. And I can wipe backwards and forwards like that with the old and the new image. So that's Juxtapose. That's pretty much all you can do with it. But if you have the images and the story changes about change over time, it fits beautifully and it works beautifully. And as you can see, you can do it in about 5 minutes.